responsible. Good evening, thank you very much and welcome here to FBD Semple Stadium. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylwood, and we're here for the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Final of 2022. And Elaine, I think it's the first time this year we've actually said a 2022 All-Ireland Final together.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to pause for a second there just before you said the year to check what year we actually were in. But yeah, first championship of the year to be decided, I suppose, of 2022 here tonight, and what a setting for it.
It certainly is setting as well, and of course the second big bumper weekend of minor finals. Last week the B, Offaly beating Laois and Wicklow beating Mayo in the C final. Tomorrow we'll have live coverage of the minor B Shield final between Roscommon and Westmeath. That's at 2 o'clock. But here this evening, thrown in at 5 o'clock, is Cork against Galway in the minor A Camogie final. And before we go through the two teams, Elaine, I suppose there are two counties that have put a lot of work into underage structures. Cork especially more recently as well. They've been very, very competitive here. Galway haven't won this competition in a couple of years, but we always know a young Galway team is always dangerous.
Absolutely. Look, and you have to look at the schools camogie that are coming through, and some of the players here from the likes of Sarsfields and Salthill, Knocknacarra, who were in All-Ireland club action a few weeks ago. So huge work being done underage, and as you said, Cork and Galway both always there or thereabouts at the latter stages of the underage championships. And look, I suppose you can see it when you see the senior teams in both those teams, senior teams now that are doing really, really well, and a platform for these minor players then to progress on to really successful senior teams.
Conditions are absolutely fantastic here in FBD Semple Stadium. If you can see it on our camera, the sun is still out. Hopefully it'll hold for as long as possible on this Saturday evening here in what many consider the home of hurling, and Cork and Galway, and these young players have the opportunity. Let's go through the two teams. Cork have a couple of changes from their semi-final victory against Tipperary last week, 1-7 to 9 points. But we'll run through the 15 that start. In goal, number 1, Jill Connaughton. Full back line of 2, Maeve de Burka. 3 is Aoife Barrett, and 4 is Tara Elliott. Half back line were number 5, Edel Sheehan. 6 is Aoife Healy, and 7 Emer Duignan. In midfield were number 8, Orla Cahallan. Partner by number 9, Avril Cashman. The half forward line on the finish. I thought we were going to national anthem there. The half forward line, 10 Ciara Morrison, 11 Millie Condon, and wearing number 20 is Anna Fahy. She replaces 12 Ciara Walsh, though Anna Fahy did start the semi-final. Leah Hallahan 13, the captain is Orla Mullins 14, and Fiona Tuig 15. And Orla Cahallan did most of the scoring the last day. Elaine, Aoife Healy got the winning point, but Fiona Tuig scored 4 points when they met Galway earlier in this competition. Didn't start last week, back in the team.
Yeah, look, you'd imagine she's raring to get back into the team, as you said, and had a really successful first day out. These two teams were both in the same group and had a really close encounter the first day out, I suppose, a couple of weeks ago. At this stage now, Cork won that by 2 points, but as you said, a lot of changes, a lot of position changes maybe in Galway since then, and both have come along a good path. And I suppose Galway trajectory has been going up. They put up a huge score in their quarter final before beating Kilkenny in the semi-final last weekend, and Cork, I suppose, two really tense, tough battles with Waterford and Tipperary the last couple of weekends. So, you know, Orla Cahallan obviously the standout player last weekend, but they've been really, really good defensively at just keeping the opposition scorelines well down, and just eking out those victories.
I think they've conceded an average of just over 7 points a game throughout the campaign. Let's look at the Galway team. One change from the side that did play in last week's semi-final. That was a victory against Kilkenny, 14 points to 2. And fourth change, but the new player in did pretty well when she came off the bench the last day. Laura Freeney in goal. Full back line of 2, Hayley Kenny. 3 is Jacqueline Glenn, and 4 is Ava Crow. Half back line were number 5, Rachel Kelly. Centre back number 6, Ali Heslin, and 7 is Keisha Coleman. In midfield were number 8, Megan Gannon, partnered by the captain, number 9, Ciara Hickey. The half forward line, 10 is Niamh McInerney, 11 is Alwyn Rabbit, and 12 is Aisling Dillon. And inside line, top of the right, number 13, Catherine Hanley. Full forward, number 14, Alana Fahy. And top of the left now, where number 19 is Aoibhinn Barry. She replaces Shannon Corcoran, who picked up a pretty nasty injury last week. We believe Shannon is here. We can't 100% rule her out of the game. Aoibhinn Barry, though, under 16 Galway captain last year, scored 4 points coming off the bench against Kilkenny.
Yeah, not a bad sub to have to come in, you know, if she can contribute 4 points to an All-Ireland semi-final. And as you said, look, got up to a kind of a shaky start, I suppose, conceded 2 early goals to Kilkenny last weekend, but then just thundered into the game and really dominated it from there. And that was a huge win for them, given, I suppose, that Kilkenny had won the competition last year and had a lot of that team still available to them. So a massive victory there. And look, both Cork and Galway have had similar scorelines throughout their group games, and I suppose Galway with just that really big win over Wexford in the quarter-final, but other than that, these two teams have been really, really evenly matched up to this point, and I expect nothing different here tonight.
Elaine, as you mentioned how Cork have squeezed out games and don't concede much, but Galway is supposed to deserve credit too, conceding 2 early goals to Kilkenny. It could well have been a third goal, only for a good save from Laura Freeney, but to come back, to turn the game around and be convincing winners in the end.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a really good sign of a team, especially a young minor team. You know, a lot of questions can be asked. You know, we all know that they're fantastic hurlers out there, but I suppose a lot of questions sometimes is maybe how they'll react to situations. And I suppose for both sets of management to have Galway concede those 2 early goals, and as you said, nearly a third last weekend, and then to get back into the rhythm of it, to keep the heads and to get up their own massive score and come out victorious. And similarly for Jerry Wallace and for Cork, I suppose, look, 2 really tough games, like when nip and tuck last weekend with Tip point for point the whole way right to the final end until Aoife Healy's winning score, and the week before had gone to extra time against a really good Waterford team. So I suppose good mental strength and good that kind of heart that you would like to see in young minor teams. And look, if they bring that here today with the skill level that we know they'll be able to express out on Semple Stadium, we're in for a cracker.
We certainly will be too, because many might look at the score of their group game, 8 points to 6, but of course conditions last month were completely different to what we're enjoying here. Like, I'm just wearing a shirt at the moment, no jackets, I think the first time we're on today, Elaine, as well, and it's an opportunity for both players to express themselves. Galway, we can imagine, will line out similar to the way they are in the match programme, but even there, which we've at some point tell us, Cork, some positional switches will be expected too, and they have plenty of options with Jerry Wallace.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, when they've met one another already in the group games, they've probably learned a little bit about one another. Sometimes it can be hard at minor level. You know, you may have met at under 14 or under 16, but there can be a lot of changes before you get to minor level. So I suppose they've had that group game as a kind of a tester to see a little bit about one another, and maybe a couple of the positional changes will be expected then just to try and gain the upper hand on 1 or 2 positions of the opposition. But yeah, as you said, look, their group game played a couple of weeks ago, and to credit both panels of players, they've come through a couple of tough weekends as regards weather and pitches and conditions. So to have the finale here in Semple Stadium, it's certainly someplace that they're both going to really, really express themselves.
Even for players this young, experience is vital. Galway have 13 panellists from last year. They reached the semi-final in 2021, losing to Kilkenny. But Cork, they were under 16 champions last year. Some of their players who involved the team, they lost the minor final to Kilkenny last year. So it's not as though this is, well, I suppose the occasion is a massive one for them regardless as well. But they have some experience for players so young coming into it.
Yeah, definitely. Look, and the experience is something different. I mean, even to come out to Semple Stadium, the music is on, the crowds are in. There's obviously a football match here afterwards, so you'll expect a few more of the crowd to get in before the game is over, and that all has an impact on young players. But as you said, between schools, clubs and underage up to this point, they all have plenty of experience of All-Ireland semi-final and final stage. So look, you just be hoping that nerves won't take over for either side and that the two of them are able to express themselves today.
You can just see in your screen there the Galway players in a huddle. They're getting words from their manager Aaron Fox. He's second year involved in the job. Aoife Linsky, another great Galway player, which is part of the backroom team as well. Just like we're getting the messages across as well, because as we look at the knockout stages since that opening game against Cork, they beat Dublin, did Galway, but in that big 7-15 to 1-4 win against Wexford, Galway might have been favourites, but I don't think anybody expected that much, and we've already talked about how they turned around the Kilkenny game. Yeah,
look, and I think that's the thing about this Galway team, is when they get on that scoring spree, they're able to score points. You know, 7-15 super score, 14 points last weekend against Kilkenny. So when they get into that scoring zone, they're well capable of racking up the points, and I suppose that's what the really interesting thing up against this Cork defence will be. As you said, they've conceded just over 7 points per game. So look, the aim of the Cork defence will obviously be to try and close down that Galway attack, and you just get the feeling, you know, I know it was 8-6 in their group game, different conditions or whatever, but you get the feeling a goal here tonight could be a really, really huge score.
Of course, in Cork as well, like their leaders stepping up in the big occasions, like that Waterford game in the quarter-final, 10 points to 9, going to extra time before Orla Callaghan got the crucial score as well, and we talked about her contribution in the semi-final too. And Aoife Healy from centre-back, like I'm looking forward to her battle with Alwyn Rabbit if it turns out that way. Alwyn Rabbit was the player that picked up a red card last week, but it was 2 yellows, so she's allowed to play as well. But big players for Cork stepping up what they had to squeeze them over those 2 matches.
Yeah, and I think that'll be the really pleasing thing for Jerry Wallace. You know, the games that were in the melting pot both days, and you look to leaders, you look to characters on the field, and in fairness to Aoife Healy, plenty of experience, in Orla Callaghan, no shortage of it either, the 2 players to step up, and look, it'll be someone else here today.
So you can see now the music is stopped, we have Aron Levine. have already played each other today. That was in the National Camogie League Division 2 semi-final sponsored by Little Woods, and Cork beat Galway by 113 to 10 points. Will it be a rebel at double, or can the Tribes women turn it around and win their first minor A title since 2017? We hope you enjoy our coverage here, brought to you in the Camogie Association YouTube channel in association with Entry, and both starting teams going into the huddles. And of course, it's one of our favourite pastimes now, matches, to see is there any changes from the team that we've been given to us before the match as well. I can't spot any so far, Elaine, but then again, they're all closely together. A big occasion, big match, and we're hoping for a good start.
Absolutely. Look, and I think that's the last couple of words that'll be in both of those huddles there now, is to try and get a good start and try and get up the score. You know, small breeze, I think, blowing maybe from the right hand side down towards the country goal here in Thurles, but more across the field maybe more than anything else. But we'll see how that pans out as the game goes. But certainly a quick start will be a big thing for either side or another. And as I said, look, it could be a goal that determines this game, and you know, early on might be the time to try and get it.
Indeed, Cork have not conceded a goal in the championship so far. It's an interesting one. Can Galway change that today? There's a bit of a breeze here in Semple Stadium despite the good weather. It's going to favour Galway, who are attacking the goal to the left in the first half. We're expecting a few positional switches from Cork, and DPC Millie Condon, who did play midfield in the semi-final against Tipperary, wearing number 11. She's right in front of you there, and Galway might have a few too, but it's 8-9 going in for the toss. Liz Dempsey from Kilkenny is the referee. The ball is thrown in. The game is on. The Tesco 2022 All-Ireland Minor A Camogie finalists here in FBD Semple Stadium, and Galway win the first ball to Alwyn Rabbit, and I said it already, Alwyn Rabbit against Aoife Healy. What a battle that'll be. Aoife Healy does enough to force the Galway centre forward into taking too many steps, and it's going to be a free for Cork taken by their centre back, and Aoife Healy with the black and amber helmet down towards the corner, misses out on one player, but it might find Fiona Tuig. She got 4 points against Galway in the group stages. Give the pass off to Orla Callahan, who we expected to go into the attack, and Orla Callahan gives it back in the direction of Fiona Tuig, but good defending from Galway. They've managed to take the ball out towards the 45-metre line through their captain, Ciara Hickey, who plays with the Davits club, and she sends it down the far side of the field. And now what can Galway do? Their scoring opportunity. Already these Cork defenders showing their mettle, showing exactly why they have an impressive defensive record, not making it easy for Galway, and that'll be the challenge. As a foul committed, it's going to be a free for Galway, and an opportunity from 65 yards to be asking an awful lot, but it'll be a chance. Looks like Ciara Hickey will be the player that takes this opening free for Galway, and to the far side of the field, attacking the goal to the left, and you can see everybody just quieting down there. Good support for both counties in the stands, the far side of the field. Ciara Hickey getting ready to take this free for Galway, coming up towards the 92nd mark in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. It's going to be very, very close, but looks like it's going to drop down towards the house. Doesn't find the intended target. The ball goes out to the right, left and right. Yeah,
and it was a long distance free. You know, it's probably not a scoreable one for Ciara, but it did drop dangerously in around there, and I suppose Cork defence just watched it, and Jill Connaughton in the Cork goal was able to watch it just drop out wide. But strong breeze enough there behind Ciara Hickey with that one. So, you know, anything any little bit closer in now will certainly be within scoring difference or scoring range for the team playing down to the left.
Jill Connaughton is the Cork goalkeeper and gets the ball out towards the 65-metre line, won by Edel Sheehan in the white helmet. Often plays in midfield herself, sends one into space, but the race should be won by Ali Helston, the Galway centre back in the white helmet on your screen, but she loses out on that occasion as Cork apply the pressure. No scores yet in this All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final, but a good battle as we expected. We want to see some scores, but we love when we see two teams go to battle in an All-Ireland final, and that's what we're witnessing here as Aoife Healy wins the ball again, but stepped out over the line, the far side of the field, and that is going to be a line ball for Galway. Aaron Hogg and Mike Ryan are the two lines people for this game. Peter Dowd from County Meath is the fourth official. Galway have a ball. Ciara Hickey looks like again is going to restart the action, been very busy in the early stages, just again inside the 65-metre line. We're not expecting any 2-pointers here, but plenty of open grass in Thurles. If she can find a teammate, might get it down in the direction of Alana Fahy. Alana Fahy, the full forward for Galway, just losing out the race to the defence at the moment. Eva Barrett there for Cork, but ball hasn't been dealt with, and eventually goes out over the line, but off a Cork stick. It's going to be a 45 here lane for Galway, and a good opportunity maybe for Ciara Hickey to try and get a score.
Yeah, certainly look at 45, and as I said, with that breeze behind her, it certainly is the last one on the 65. Looked to be within scoring difference, or scoring distance. But I think, does it look like Catherine Hanley maybe?
Actually, Catherine Hanley. I was just checking the top score for Galway. It is indeed Catherine Hanley, and she'll be taking the 45.
Yeah, look, and it's it's not a bad free, I suppose, for a free taker to get their first one in. It's a little bit out to the right hand side, but certainly well within her range, and it'll be a super score to get Galway off the mark. We've had an exciting end-to-end opening start to the game, so a chance for Galway to get the first score on the board.
Catherine Hanley scored 115 in the championship in 4 games so far. Make that 116 in 5. She puts the ball over the bar 4 minutes into the game. Galway get the opening score. It's Catherine Hanley 1-0.
Yeah, nice opening score for her, and a nice one for a free taker to start off with, just to find her range here in Semple Stadium, but no difficulties with that one, and it sailed over the crossbar.
Jill Connaughton sends the ball down in the direction of Avril Cashman. Doesn't happen for her, but it's a Cork player in possession of the ball again, trying to work her way down the field, and Cork getting their players close. Leah Hallahan, where's number 13? She's found a bit of space, getting ahead of Keisha Coleman. Turns on the left hand side. What a reply this will be for Cork if it goes over the bar. And no, it didn't. It goes to the right and wide. No different to yourself, Elaine. I was nearly getting ready to mark the score as well. Doesn't happen for her, but it was a good response from Cork bar to finish.
Certainly, and it was a lovely take from Leah Hallahan just here in front of us. Snapped it out of the air really, really nicely. Went on that run, and I suppose just couldn't find a range just on that occasion, but drove forward, and a lovely little snap, and just shows what that Cork attack is capable of.
Eva Healy having a good start to the game for Cork, finds a teammate as they try and create another opportunity. The teammate is Orla Callahan, and Orla Callahan's ball, a good hook from the Galway defender. Can they keep it in play? Well, the umpire says it's a wide ball, so it didn't go off a Galway stick, I should say, so it's a wide ball for Cork. I'll get my words right, yes, and Galway will restart the action.
Yeah, really clever, really good little hook there from Ali Henson at number 6 from Galway, just as Orla Callahan stepped back inside. She just got in there, got the little hook, and enough just to see it out wide.
Laura Freeney getting good distance, and you always see the difference that the wind is making by a few yards anyway. But Ciara Hickey has the ball again, down towards the right in the direction of Catherine Hanley, and Catherine Hanley trying to turn inside, create a scoring opportunity here on our left hand side. Goes to the post, and that ball is gone to the right and wide. 2 wides apiece in the game in the early stages. 5.5 minutes gone here in FBD Semple Stadium, and it's Galway in front by 1-0. But as Elaine said, plenty of end-to-end action, plenty of activity so far. A few poor misses, has to be said, but it's early stages, and it is a big occasion, and no doubt there's some nerves out there, as Jill Connaughton, very consistent, coming down here right in front of us in the commentary box. Always a second option. The second option on this occasion was Maeve de Burka in the white helmet, wearing number 2. Gains a few yards. Cork have the ball. Liz Dempsey has spotted a pull off the arm. It's going to be a Cork free if they don't gain the advantage. Ciara Morrison doing very, very well there for Cork. Wins the free, and this will be a chance, I'm guessing, maybe for Orla Callahan to take it. We'll confirm the free taker in a moment. Indeed, it is Orla Callahan from the St. Finbarr's Club that's going to take this free, but well, you could see the game plan there. She was trying to find Aoife Healy, did get her, even though Aoife had run a few yards ahead of the ball. Had to start, sends it down in towards the attack, not materialising. The Galway defence showing exactly what they're capable of as well. Galway have only conceded 4 goals in the championship, but 2 of them came in that opening quarter against Kilkenny in the semi-final before they settled themselves down and got on with the job. Megan Gannon from the Abbey Knockmoy Club in Galway brings the ball forward a bit. Aisling Dillon in possession. She has the black helmet. Crossfield ball, looking for another dark helmet in Catherine Hanley. Good work there by Tara Elliott, leaving the ball off for Aoife Barrett, the Cork full back, but she doesn't get it past the 45 metre line. However, Cork, you can see the extra player there is reading the play well for Cork in particular. There's always an option there if a player gets blocked down.
Yeah, and you can see how Cork defence have kept scores against them so low throughout this campaign. You know, they're really, really good at working together there, and as you said, that spare player always coming off the shoulder at the back for the option coming out. And even on Jill Connaughton's puck out there, you know, a couple of them have come down, and Avril Cashman there hasn't caught them cleanly, but it's always been a Cork player in on the break.
Plays now right between the 2 65-metre lines as Cork try and move the ball down to their captain Orla Mullins, not to be in the Slater, bouncing like a ping ball out over the line, and I think this is a Galway ball indicated by the official the far side of the field. No, actually the referee is going to throw it in. So Ciara Hickey up against Orla Callahan for Cork, Ciara Hickey for Galway, and we start the action. Nearly 8 minutes gone here, and it's just 1 point in the game so far. Every point in this match, you'll imagine, will be hard earned. The forwards get a chance to unleash. You never know what treats we might get. Again, goes out over the line, and this time it's going to be a Cork ball.
Yeah, foul on Emer Duignan over there, just right on the sideline. A lot of action there, a lot of play from that throw ball from what was the line ball before that. But as you said, two really, really evenly matched teams. Both defences probably on top a little bit at the moment now, and both sets of forwards just looking to find that little chink in the armour.
Yeah, we often say games are decided by the middle third, but an awful lot of action happening between the 265-metre lines here in this game so far, as one tries to get an edge on the other. Ball down in the direction of Orla Mullins. Can she keep the ball in play? Tries to turn inside, go for a shot at the post. Opportunity for Cork. That ball doesn't materialise, and it goes to the right and wide. And Elaine, like we did mention, there will be nerves here. It's a big occasion too, but these misses for both teams as well. Cork have had a couple of poor ones, admittedly. How much is that going to get into the psyche of the players in the early stages?
Yeah, look, I think, and you're probably looking at this occasion, you're probably looking at it being a low scoring game, and this occasion things are so tight out around the middle of the field, so I suppose free taking becomes increasingly important. And I suppose the most management will keep telling them to keep the shots, and once you're creating the shots, there's a chance that some of them are going to go over. But certainly, yeah, I think on that occasion Orla Mullins maybe just conscious of that half hook coming in behind her, maybe just pull the shot a little bit. So look, at the testament to both sets of backs, I suppose, that they're putting the forwards under that kind of pressure, that are forcing those wides.
Spoken by a great wing back as well, which Galway will be looking at the defenders, how they perform over the course of the game. But this is Ciara Hickey taking a second place ball from this distance, of course. Not going to go for a score, dropping in towards the house, hoping to find a player, and does find Alana Fahy. And Alana Fahy on the right hand side goes for a shot at the post. There's a chair. Is it from the Galway supporters? It is. It goes over the bar. 10 minutes gone in the game, and Alana Fahy gets Galway's second point, 2-0.
Yeah, no sign of nerves or anything there from Alana Fahy. She burst out like a rocket out to that ball, caught it on the hop, and just spun and found herself in enough space to get the shot away. And that's how economical the Galway forwards are up there, I suppose, if the opportunity presents itself.
Cork need to settle down. Jill Connaughton doing something different with the short ball to Aoife Barrett. They do get it to Aoife Healy, and Aoife Healy looking at short, sends a good dangerous ball in towards the attack, and a high challenge on the Cork player. There will be an advantage. This is Orla Mullins on the move here. The advantage is gone. Orla Mullins surely the first score for Cork, and just didn't get the connection that she wanted. And in fairness to Liz Dempsey, she had her hand out to give the advantage. It should have been a score there for Cork.
Yeah, and I think Orla Mullins maybe caught in two minds. The ground was opening up in front of her. She probably saw the goal and thought maybe she didn't have as much space as she had. She'd left 3 Galway defenders in her wake, and the goal was certainly opening up there, but just when she opted to take the shot, then I suppose the energy was gone out of it, and the shot just drifted off poorly and wide, and that'll be a disappointing wide for Cork.
Orla Mullins is wearing the number 14 jersey, but she's out in the corner because Fiona Tuig is playing at full forward in this game as the clock goes to 10.5 minutes, and Galway entertaining their supporters right in front of the stand there. That's an excellent sideline cut, but it doesn't find its target. It finds Aoife Healy again. I don't know how many times she's caught the ball in this early stages, but she gets the crossfield ball in the direction of Anna Fahy, wearing the number 20 jersey, but on the team in the semi-final. Alwyn Rabbit tries to distract her. Again, the challenges are going in. There's nobody relenting here. And in possession now is Avril Cashman from the Achill Club. Avril Cashman gets a hook, goes again, keeps moving, but good work by Niamh McInerney for Galway, trying to stop her in her tracks, and gets inside the 65-metre line. A scrum between the respective players, and Cork, I should say, do have possession again, but they're just trying to move the ball down. Emer Duignan is there and gains a few more yards, but no Cork player really to take advantage of it, and Galway will take the ball back, and cleared away by Ali Hesnan, their centre back, down towards the other end of the field, where Aoife Healy tries to judge the bounce, turns on her left, goes back on her right, and moves up towards the 65-metre line. The pass again in between the middle of the field as players come right in. It's the opening day of the Women's Six Nations, but we're seeing real battles for possession and territory in this match. But Alwyn Rabbit has the ball for Galway, and straight away down towards their 2-player inside line, which is Catherine Hanley or Alana Fahy. Cork's defenders well able to deal with that. Emer Duignan moving out again, finds a teammate, and that teammate is Orla Callahan, and Orla Callahan now starts on a move again. Now, where are the Cork options? They need to get a score, get themselves on the move there. You can see the supporters looking for fouls, looking for frees, looking for play to continue on. They're definitely making their voices heard in these early stages inside the Galway 45-metre line, and Cork just struggling to keep the flow there. Orla Mullins did well to try and keep possession, but Galway have a player inside, and everything has been hard fought for Elaine.
It's an absolute physical battle out there. It's they may only be 18 years of age, but it certainly doesn't look like a minor game. It wouldn't be out of place at any adult level. It's a hugely physical battle, and as you said, a lot of the ball being contested between the 265s and 245s, and play swinging from end to end. Cork defence probably happy enough to have Aoife Barrett as the spare player back there, and she's the backup then for any ball that's coming in and any ball that Cork don't win clean, she's sweeping it up behind them, so she's playing a really key role for them in defence there.
We were entertained last Saturday with the intensity and commitment of the Galway seniors against Tipperary. That was in the National Camogie League. We're getting just as much here in this All-Ireland Minor Camogie final as the ball from the free trickles out over the line, and this is going to be a Cork ball, and I'm just wondering, has Aaron Hogg judged it to have gone out over the line outside the 45-metre line? No spare slitters lying around at the moment, so we will just have a slight hold up in play. 13 and a half minutes gone in this game. Cork in last year's final lost out to Kilkenny in a right cracking game, but back to try and win this title, under 16 champions in 2018 and 2019. So the line ball is going to take place about 50 yards from the Cork goal. And we'll restart the action again. Emer Dyton moving it up the field. It goes off a Galway leg, I think, or a stick. Either way, it's a Cork ball. Though just outside the 65-metre line. Cork yet to get off the mark. 2 points to 0 to Galway. That's an excellent ball now. This could be an opportunity now maybe for Anna Fahy to create something for Cork. Sends it down in towards the inside line. Fiona Toohey hasn't had really a chance to express herself in this game yet, and the ball just would not come to her. It might come for Orla Mullins. Orla Mullins has possession. The player out to the wide. That's Millie Condon. Millie Condon just ran into two Galway players but managed to get away from them. Turns in again. Galway's defending excellent there. 4 players all in the right position, but it'll be another opportunity, and an excellent block down by Galway, and I think it did come from the centre back Ali Heston, and she has the ball as well, brings it out away from the danger area a little bit, but it's not fully gone yet. There for Galway is Hayley Kenny from Davits, inside the 20-metre line, nearly at the 30-metre line, and Cork are showing that they can block down balls as good as their opponents. The referee has blown the whistle, spots an infringement. It's going to be a free in for Cork.
Yeah, what a massive passage of play there. I suppose Cork looked to be getting off the scoreboard there through Millie Condon, but credit to the Galway defence. They got 4 players back around her, won the ball back, lost it again, got in a great block there, and looked to have come out with it then before the Cork forwards did what they had to do to turn it over and eventually get a chance from a free. You know, not the easiest free to start off with, I suppose. It's well out on the sideline, so maybe she'll look for a little bit of movement inside. Orla
Callahan might have a go at this as well. She does have a go at it. The umpires have a good look at it. Tap in. Cork are off the mark. It might have taken 60 minutes. You can argue they were lucky a bit not to get scores beforehand, but Cork do get their first score. It's Cork 1 point, Galway 2.
Yeah, and that's a super score for Orla Callahan, and great to get her off the mark, especially as a free taker. You know, as I said, it wasn't the easiest to freeze, but she made very little of that one and judged it perfectly.
Laura Freeney getting good distance on the puck out again, and now what can Galway do to respond as they're on the move again? Alwyn Rabbit sends it out in the direction of Aisling Dillon. Where's number 12? It doesn't come to her, but it'll come from Megan Gannon. Megan Gannon sent it across to actually Alwyn Rabbit. It was Niamh McInerney, the original ball. This is Alwyn Rabbit now with the white helmet on her left hand side. It'll be an excellent point if it goes over the bar, and it is an excellent point from Alwyn Rabbit. Gets the score for Galway. What a response, 3 points to 1.
Yeah, that's a great super response and a great score from distance from her. Look, it's probably the first couple of seconds she got away from Aoife Healy there and peeled off lovely, found herself in loads of space over there and then swung over the point. So a super response to Cork's point.
Cork just trying to get their game plan in action. They're going for the short puck outs at the moment, trying to get into the middle of the field, but well read by Megan Gannon. Our teammate in Abby Knockboy call her the toughest player in training, and she's shown it there. She's won the free, forcing the foul from Edel Sheehan. And will Catherine Hanley come out directly for this? I don't think Ciara Hickey is going to take it anyway. She has taken some from the 65-metre lines, but no, Catherine Hanley fancies a go with this. There is a bit of a breeze here. Now, it's not going to be a major difference in the match, but Galway will want to have an advantage at half-time with it. So Catherine Hanley getting ready to take the free, but 60 yards from the goal. We look at the clock coming up towards the 17-minute mark. Catherine Hanley, it's going to travel. Will it travel enough? It might drop inside. Galway didn't leave anyone inside there. Cork had the defenders, but unfortunately an error. And like in fairness to Aoife Healy, it's probably the first mistake she's made in the match. It just went off for a stick, out for a 45. Catherine Hanley will get another go.
Yeah, and this one a little bit closer in, so you can imagine she'd fancy her chances now with a little bit of extra yardage she's gained there. But you know, naively enough from Galway there on that occasion, you kind of tell that ball was going to drop short, and maybe just too many Cork defenders in there and not enough Galway forwards, push forwards to capitalise. But look, as you said, an uncharacteristic error from Aoife Healy there gives Catherine a chance now from the 45.
Catherine Hanley Hit the first shot well, just didn't have the power to go over. She should be able to do it again if she hits it as well. She hits it as it going to the left. It has gone to the left. Unfortunately for her, not to be third wide in the game. It remains a 2-point ball game. Galway 3 points, Cork 1.
Yeah, just probably pulled it a little bit when she was trying to get the distance on that one and just pulled it out to the left and wide. So, a let off for Cork. I suppose they had dealt with the initial ball, but then just a mistake from Aoife led to the 45. So a chance for Cork again now just to keep within touch on the scoreboard.
Rachel Kelly was trying to send the ball in for Alana Fahy, just got too much purchase on it and that ball goes out harmlessly wide. Elaine, one of the standout moments in the opening quarter is the Cork puck out. They're just struggling to gain advantage in that.
Yeah, and I thought they nearly had been doing better when they were going long with them. Now granted there's a lot of bodies around the middle of the field where Jill Connaughton is hitting them, but have opted since to go short and probably got benefit from one of them, but after that they've really just put themselves under pressure in their own defence, and Galway are working extremely hard up there and obviously making it hard for them to work that ball out.
Emer Digden tries to gain a few yards there but just couldn't get the pass off to the teammate, and Galway go in battling for possession again, and good hard work from it is Niamh McInerney for Galway, but she loses out and Cork are on the move again down inside the 65 metre line, and this is an opportunity. This might come nicely for Fiona Tuig this time. A good tight marking from Jacqueline Glenn, the Galway full back. Fiona Tuig there in the middle of all that posse of players trying to win possession, and she hasn't given up on it yet, but Galway have the players in the way too, and it's won on this occasion by Ciara Morrison. Ciara Morrison just going up towards the 30 metre line, but Galway can get in the way, but she did well to hold on to that. Gives it to Fiona Tuig, trying to turn inside, can't find a way in. Good defending from Galway, out to Orla Callahan. She'll have a go at the post, should be a point. It goes wide again, and again on that occasion we talked about the defenders of both teams, but that was superb defending from Galway.
Absolutely, and they're back there in numbers time and time again, and it doesn't seem to matter which Cork player picks up the ball. They think they have a second to get the shot away, but it's Galway swarming in on top of them, forcing the shots and forcing those wides and getting the blocks and hooks, and it's superb defending from Galway.
Superb puck out as well from Laura Freeney, because Galway going to launch another attack, but you can see Galway trying to lead the two players inside. Cork are reading that bit of the game very, very well. This is Millie Condon. Millie Condon skips past 165 metre line. She probably should have gone to the other before trying to release it, but it might find the target, which is Orla Mullins, and Orla Mullins on the 45 metre line is a player to the right. That's Leah Hallahan has space here if she can get the ball. The bounce just wouldn't come for her, but she's not afraid to have a go and move inside, and Leah Hallahan moves inside again. Chance for Cork, a shot. An excellent save from Laura Freeney, the goalkeeper, goes out for a 45. Leah Hallahan making a goal chance out of nothing, it has to be said, but Laura Freeney equal to the task.
Absolutely equal to the task, and read that the whole way through, was quick off her line, did what all good goalkeepers did, came at the right time, made herself big and forced the save and forced the ball out for the 45. But as you said, credit Leah Hallahan, made a goal chance there out of nothing, and it's something those Cork inside forwards have plenty, is that little sidestep, and very similar to Orla Callahan at the far side a few seconds ago. So dangerous obviously once they get in there, but credit to Laura Freeney on that occasion. She'd been watching her defenders outside her for the last couple of minutes doing all the stalwart defending, and then when her need was called upon, she was equal to the challenge.
Leah Hallahan was on the under-16 Cork panel in 2020 and making her impact here in the minor panel of 2022. This is a 45 for Cork. 9 minutes over to half-time in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. We're watching Orla Callahan has got Cork's only scored the game so far. She goes for a shot here, didn't get the power in that. It's in the goal, it's a goal! It's a goal for Cork, it came out of nothing. And unfortunately for Laura Freeney, after the excellent save, it goes against her. But Cork have gotten the break that they needed. Orla Callahan gets a goal from the 45. And all of a sudden it's a different ball game.
Yeah, and that's a break, I suppose. And look, I think Orla Callahan probably had a half an idea what she was doing. Maybe that dropped nicely, and the sun in the eyes of Laura Freeney down there and just caught her for a second there. But it's a lifeline for Cork, and they've struggled up front. They've had a couple of wides. They haven't been able to get the points ticking over, but that's a goal they'll certainly give them a boost.
Cork 1-1, Galway 3 points, and Cork now, their tails are up as Eva Healy gives the ball to Edel Sheehan, and Edel Sheehan sends it down in the direction of Fiona Tuig. The ball wouldn't come for her, and Jacqueline Glenn's not going to give her a second chance, or maybe she will. Fiona Tuig hasn't given up. It's Ciara Morrison that wins the ball for Cork. The advantage is there for a free. She's a free shot at the post. We're going to go back for the free for the foul on the Cork number 10, and Orla Callahan has a chance to put 2 points between the teams.
Yeah, look, and I suppose it's Galway who've been playing the two-person full forward line for most of this first half, but on that occasion it was Fiona Tuohy inside on her own for Cork, and beaten on the first occasion by Jacqueline Glynn, but did really, really well to hold up the ball for Ciara Morrison to come in, and once she slipped inside she had the advantage, didn't get the shot away, and Liz Dempsey correctly calling it back for the free for Orla Callahan.
Orla Callahan got the winner against Waterford in extra time in the quarter-final. Can she put Cork 2 points in front? The game has changed in their favour. Can they make it count? Orla Callan with the free. It's going to be close. I think it's going to go to the left and wide. It does go to the left and wide. 6 wides for Cork, 4 for Galway. But just Elaine picking up the point there. But the 2-player inside line, like before the goal, everything Galway seemed to be doing is right. But now I suppose we are questioning that some of the balls are trying to drop into those forwards and not getting there, because Cork are reading that bit of the field very well.
Yeah, they're being read really well by Aoife Barrett, I suppose, and she's sweeping across there. She's 3 on her back, but she's covering that entire full back line, and I suppose she has the supply then of Aoife Healy, the support of Aoife Healy outside her then to work the ball out. So, that Cork defence, we said they've been very tight all year, so, probably in Galway's interest now maybe to push someone up there. They've had the vast majority of possession, but now I suppose they find themselves behind on the scoreboard.
Alana Fahy nearly came close to making something happen. There could be an opportunity here. Aveen Barry goes for a shot at the post. That ball goes to the right and wide. 5 wides for Galway, 6 wides from Cork. 23 and a half minutes gone in the opening half of the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Final here in the Camogie Association YouTube channel, brought to you in association with Entry and Jill Connaughton. That's an excellent take there by Orla Callan, the number 8 for Cork, and she goes in the move again. She knows the next score already feels very, very important in this match, and Orla Callan has done well here now, sends it in the direction of Fiona Tuig. Can this come for the full forward wearing number 15? She turns inside, a chance here for Cork, and it goes over the bar. She was thinking about the goal, but she got something out of it. 6 minutes to half time. Fiona Tuig gets off the mark, 1, 2 to 3 points.
Yeah, and Galway will be disappointed there with that run that they left Orla Callan right through the centre of the defence, and I suppose backing off her, expecting her to take the shot, and when that ball came in, it hopped lovely in front of Fiona Tuig in there at full forward, and just deceived Jacqueline Glynn, and look, could have been something major, but Cork will happily take the point.
So 1, 2 to 3 points favouring Cork. The goal from Orla Callan, just their 4th goal of the championship so far, but they've been doing enough to get here, and it looks like they're doing enough to get their noses in front in this contest. A Guinness scrum in the middle of the field, or a ruck, I think is the official term in Camogie. Either way, it's won by Rachel Kelly for Galway, and she sends it down into corner in the direction of Catherine Hanley. It's not Catherine Hanley actually inside, it's Aveen Barry trying to make it action. She has support from a teammate if she wants to use her. Turns on her right, turns on her left, finds into space. So Alwyn Rabbit, who saw that very well. Alwyn Rabbit goes low. She probably should have taken the point, hit the shot low, and it's Aoife Healy that gets in the way, wins the ball, gives it out in the direction of Edel Sheehan, and Edel Sheehan, the Cork number 5, moving towards the 45, surrounded by 2 Galway players looking for support, or maybe she doesn't need the support. That ball is not going to stay in play. It's going to be a Galway sideline ball in the middle of the field. Galway has scored an opportunity there, probably should have hit it high.
Yeah, probably should have got a score out of it. Again, Alwyn Rabbit had done really, really well, drifted over to the left hand side of the field on that occasion, and Galway did really, really well to find her in the space and maybe just forced the shot for a goal when possibly a point just would have put them back on a little bit closer to Cork, and maybe just kept Galway in it.
It was an excellent crossfield ball that led to the scoring opportunity. Galway have gained a few yards inside the 45, and now they'll see what they can do with this one. And coming up to take it is Ciara Hickey. So Ciara Hickey to take the line ball, the near side of the field. She's taken one the far side of the field already. This inside the 45-metre line. I wonder what she'd think about going for the post. The angle looks sweet, but I don't think she will. Looking around for the spaces there. Who's giving her an option? 4 minutes to half time, and Ciara Hickey sends it in towards a group of players, but it's batted down by Emer Dignan. However, it's Alwyn Rabbit wants to have another go at the post, goes to the hand pass inside, trying to find Catherine Hanley, not to be. Won again by the Cork centre back Aoife Healy. High challenge goes in. It's going to be a free out. The referee might have a word with the Galway player. It could be a yellow card for Alwyn. She's hoping she won't get 2 in this one, like she did in the semi-final. But Aoife Healy, what a game she's having.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Ciara Hickey stood over that line ball, I think looking at the angle of it to the goal, the only thing I could see between her and the goal was Aoife Healy. So I think that's probably why Ciara went to the right hand side with that ball. And Cork defence again did really, really well. And as you said, Aoife Healy at the heart of it just got that ball into her hand, and the experience then just to step out, duck the head and win the free, I suppose, and a chance then for her to put Cork on the attack again from the resulting free.
We mentioned about leaders at the start of the game. Well, Aoife Healy has been a leader a while. Cork winning captain of All-Ireland under-15 Blitz back in 2019. The point-winning score against Tipperary in the semi-final. And how many times have we mentioned her name in this commentary? We're not even at half-time in this All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final, sponsored by Tesco. It's a Cork free out. They lead by 2 points. A goal from Orla Callan directly from a 45. And the free taker is Aoife Barrett from the Ahabullet Club, and sends it down the far side side of the field and doesn't find intended teammates. Again, the breaking ball, Galway getting players inside. They want to keep their focus on the game plan that was working so well for them up until the 20-minute mark. They have possession, but only as far as Millie Condon. And Millie Condon again sending a dangerous ball, wants to find either Orla Mullins or Fiona Toohey. This is Orla Mullins, and Orla Mullins happy to pass the ball around there now. Look for a player in the better position. This is Ciara Morrison. Ciara Morrison can come in the left, come in the right, tries to send the pass aside, not to be, in Galway win the ball again, and they'll send it out towards Alwyn Rabbit near the 65-metre line, but Aoife Healy pushed forward in attack. Good defending by Ali Heston for Galway in that occasion. It's a line ball for Galway in front of us.
Yeah, great interception by Ali Henson back there at centre back. Cork on the attack again with those amazing runs from the half forward line, which is what they've been so good at for most of this first half. But again, as you said, Henson read it really, really well, broke up that Cork attack and just set Galway up again.
Millie Condon on the left again, on plenty of ball too, trying to get into the inside line. Cork trying to do what Galway were doing at the start of the game, and Ali Heston getting in the way in more occasions than not. But Orla Mullins has the ball as a player to her left. That's Fiona Toohey. An opportunity here for Cork. Surely goes for the shot at the post, puts the ball over the bar, and it's another point for Cork. They're 3 points in front, and I have to say, Elaine, Orla Mullins has really got matured as this game went on, finding the player in the better position. This time it was Fiona Toohey.
Yeah, look, she was inside in that full forward line, I suppose, in the corner for a while and maybe not getting enough ball in, but she's certainly starting to move around the place out there now, and as you said, getting on a lot of possession, and she's so clever with her use of the ball. Then on that occasion, finding Fiona Toohey, and she's popped a couple of passes out to players outside her, so a really good, not just a score getter I suppose for Cork, but a really good score creator.
It's 1-3 to 3 points, and Cork have won the ball back from a Galway attacking. It's Orla Mullins again looking. What will she do this time? She's looking around for the player, turns on her right hand side. The referee said she took too many steps. The Galway defender forcing that. I think the referee or the stadium announcer said 2 added minutes there at the end of the half. We still have another minute to play here. There's a hold up in play. A Galway defender receiving some attention, but again, just like that, a Galway attack. Aoife Healy starts to move and nearly made something out of it.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. She's such a super striker of the ball. I suppose she's looking up and she's able to spray the ball inside then. And when you have target women inside like Orla Mullins and Fiona Toohey, you know where you need to get the ball. And then you have the likes of Ciara Morrison, Millie Condon, and Orla Callahan coming off them then as well. So really important for Cork, I suppose, that they can make the ball stick inside in that full forward line.
Good defender for Galway in the game as the player receiving treatment at the moment as Hayley Kenny from the Davids Club, County Minor Champions of 2021. They only won that title in January. One of 4 Davids players on this team today, and she's worked hard to try. She's been kept busy against Orla Mullins, and she's kept her as tight as she can. So just receiving some treatment there for Galway. Hopefully she'll be okay. Alan Massey will be out there to keep an eye on her, and we're just going to stop play. 2 minutes of added time to be played at the end of the 30. We've the 30 played. We'll be adding another minute or 2 on this. Elaine, just while we're keeping an eye on Hayley Kenny, let's look at Galway first as well. Unless something big happens in the next couple of minutes, what will Aaron Fox be saying to his players at half time? Because it's the early stages, there's loads of time to turn this around, but they'll be disappointed they're not winning this game. Yeah,
I think so. Look, for the first, I suppose, 20 minutes until maybe that Orla Callahan score, they had really been on top of Cork and had been creating the chances up front, and I suppose just didn't make them count. And look, the goal kind of shook them a little bit, I suppose, and they haven't looked as composed since then. So look, I think he'll be saying that exact same thing to them. There's 30 minutes, there's loads of time, let's not panic, take our points when the opportunity presents itself, and then be ruthless if that goal opportunity comes.
Thankfully Hayley Kenny is okay. The helmet is back on, she's back in action and fighting the cause for Galway, but Cork again winning the ball, and the defenders working well as Tara Elliott finds Aoife Healy, and Aoife Healy's on her bike again towards the 65-metre line. Cork looking for that other score before half time. They give them a bit of a mini cushion as Fiona Toohey comes out the field. They get involved. What she held, the referee says so. It's going to be a free for Cork. Orla Callahan is going to take this, and she will more than likely have a shot at the post, or is she taking that? Now, Fiona Toohey was Cork's top scorer when they played Galway in the opening round. She got 4 points that day, didn't start the semi-final, determined to make a point about that in this game, and she's playing her part at the moment. 31 and a half minutes gone in the first half. This, if it goes over the bar, will put 4 points between the teams. Cork lead at the moment, 1-3 to 3 points, and Fiona Toohey taking her time, looking at the ball, looking at the goal, looks at the ball again, bends down to take the shot. Will this go over the bar? It's going to be very close. Galway need to be careful. Laura Freeney got in the way, but batted it out towards Jacqueline Glynn, and Jacqueline Glynn gets it out some of the field, but only as far as Leah Halloran. Leah Halloran going to send it back towards the goal. The ball goes to the left and wide. No score for Cork on that occasion, 1-3 to 3 points. But if you're a Galway supporter, you just get nervous and that ball bounces dangerously in front of their goal, something they look to deal with at half time. The 2 minutes of added time have been played, but as expected, we're going to have another 1 or 2 attacks before we do take a break, and all those little breaks seem to be falling Cork's way at the moment as Ciara Morrison is first to this ball, looks around for the support act. The support act's led by Emer Duignan, and Emer Duignan sending it down, looking for Anna Fahy. Won't come for Anna Fahy, might come for Orla Mullins, won't come for Orla Mullins. The ball just won't come up for Jacqueline Glenn for Galway, but they're here to help her out is Hayley Kenny, and Hayley Kenny sends it down the field, but only as far as a Cork player. They're like coming down now rapidly like a game of tennis. Leah Hallinan just didn't get the touch she wanted on that occasion. The Galway defence have it again, bringing it out towards the 45-metre line, only as far as the 65-metre line, but the referee Liz Dempsey says she has enough, and an entertaining half, it has to be said. Both defences standing out there. A goal for Cork coming from a 45 by Orla Cahalane. That came on 21 minutes. It's 1-3 to 3 points to Cork. Elaine Aylward, your overall assessment of the first half?
Yeah, as you said, both defences really standing out, but I suppose where Galway are running into a little bit of difficulty is with their defence is doing so well, but the clearances that are coming, they're only being mopped up by the likes of Aoife Healy in that Cork half back line. And as we said during commentary, she's so composed on the ball and she's so well able to find the space up front. And look, she's got a lot of target women up there. They're doing a lot of movement inside, and there's a lot of green grass in there for the likes of Millie Condon, Ciara Morrison and Leah Hallinan to run into. So I suppose from a Galway point of view, if I was in that dressing room at half time, it's tying down for Healy. I'll be looking at doing in that second half. So much of what has been good about Cork has come through her. You know, she's breaking up those Galway attacks. So while the Galway defence is doing really, really well and they're forcing the shots from Cork, I suppose it's when they're transitioning then from defence into attack, they just haven't really made the ball stick up there. And it's been Aoife Healy, Aoife Barrett when she was there as a spare player back there. They've been mopping up those balls, and their distribution of the ball then has set Cork on the attack at the other end. That's
for Aaron Fox and his charges to think about, but for Cork they have the advantage at the break. An interesting 30 minutes ahead. We're going to take a break for about 10 minutes time here in Semple Stadium, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Cork in the lead in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Final. The half-time score, Cork 1-3, Galway 3 points.
Sensible.
Good evening, thank you very much and welcome back here to FBD Semple Stadium. These two teams not wasting any time, get back on the field to play. It's Galway against Cork in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. The second half about to commence as Liz Dempsey, the referee from Kilkenny, checks her two watches, throws the ball in. Cork in front by 3 points. Cork 1-3, Galway 3 points. What can Galway do to address that? And Alwyn Rabbit already appears to be out in the wing, tries to send the ball in towards Niamh McInerney, but well dealt with the Cork defence in the early stages, getting it back out towards the 45-metre line, and therefore Cork is Millie Condon, always looking for the ball, always getting in for the battle, goes out over the line, she wins the line ball in the process, and Elaine, they're straight into it for the second half.
Absolutely, there was no messing around the dressing room at half time. Both teams anxious to get back out, and I suppose the most telling change there from a Galway point of view is Alwyn Rabbit gone into the corner and Aoibhinn Barry now picking up Aoife Healy, so who we were saying had a great first half there, was really the stumbling block for a lot of Galway attacks. So obviously Galway recognising that at half time and trying to address it by getting a new player in on her and maybe trying to keep her quiet for a couple of minutes and see if Galway can create something up front.
This is Catherine Hanley. We haven't noticed any changes so far as Catherine Hanley's ball drops in front of the goalkeeper Jill Connaughton, and Jill Connaughton looking ashore but gets dispossessed as Alwyn Rabbit gets in there, and she's going to need Tara Elliott, the number 4 for Cork, to help out. They get it as far as the 20-metre line. Niamh McInerney throwing herself in towards the ball. Alana Fahy in possession, turns on her right hand side. Will that ball come in? The umpire doesn't seem to like it. It goes out to the right and wide. 6 wides for Galway, 7 for Cork. Galway know they need to get scores at the start of this half.
Yeah, and look, I suppose that's the thing, you don't want to see them trying to force it, and it was probably a little bit forced on that occasion, and just being a little bit patient up front. They have the full 30 minutes now to try and get that goal back, so it definitely unsettled them a little bit in the first half there, and they didn't really recover from there to half time. So look, they've started really, really well in the second half, but I suppose just a bit of composure up front maybe to start chipping over a couple of points.
The puck outs will be important for Cork. Jill Connaughton did well to find Avril Cashman on that occasion as it gets down towards the Cork inside line. 3 points between the teams, but it is a low scoring match. Fiona Toohey gives it across to Orla Mullins. Orla Mullins thinks about going inside. She finds a teammate, an opportunity for Cork. A shot. Ciara Morris in the back of the net, and it's a goal for Cork. And Cork get their second goal, and what a goal it was. Their first attack. It's 6 points between the teams. It's 2-3 to Cork, 3 points to Galway.
And that full forward line for Cork in there is proven so lethal, once they get the ball, Orla Mullins on that occasion, she was breaking the tackle, she was heading for goal, and a super run for Ciara Morrison off her shoulder and found herself inside that Galway full back line in a load of space, and did really, really well to finish and put it really well away from Laura Freeney to give her no chance in the Galway goal.
Cork 2-3, Galway 3 points. And we talked about how important a Cork point will be at the start of the half. Another point here now. They'll have one hand on the trophy. And this is Orla Mullins. Orla Mullins inside, goes for a shot at the post. The umpire is running to the right and wide. It's a type of game, Elaine. We know 7 points really means nothing until the final whistle in hurling or camogie, but it's a type of game here where if Cork get the next score, you would feel they have one hand on this title.
Yeah, look, they have the cushion of those 2 goals now. I suppose they have the luxury now of not having to force scores. If they can keep tipping over a couple of points, it keeps asking questions to Galway, and you know, a young minor team, it just forces them maybe to start pushing for goals when they're not really there.
A Galway will definitely need a goal. You would feel Cork have not conceded one in the championship. This is a good ball from Alwyn Rabbit to Catherine Hanley, but Catherine Hanley again being well marshalled by the Cork defence. They're not giving anything away, led by their fullback Aoife Barrett. Galway just trying to move a few yards. Megan Gannon again, never too far away. The ball's out the far side of the field. This is Alana Fahy coming inside. Can Galway make something happen? Stop by Jill Connaughton. Stop shot by Evian Barry. And I don't know who made the second stop on the occasion. It might have been Jill Connaughton again. It's out for a third 45 or is that a wide ball? Actually, I think it is. Either way, Galway didn't get their goal.
No, and it looked to be something creative out of nothing coming down the left hand wing, and Cork had the numbers back. They looked to be dealing with it comfortably, but you know, once it got into Jill Connaughton, she had to stretch to get it up coming across the goal, but did really well, and looked then that it was going to block to no one, only Aoife Barry on the 7-yard box, and I'm not sure how her shot went, but it was saved. It looked like to be saved, but ended up going out for a wide ball, and you know, a sigh of relief for Cork. It would have been a great response from Galway.
Well, it was a great initial stop from Jill Connaughton. Either way, whatever way the second ball went, Galway on the move again. They need to get something. This is Alwyn Rabbit, gains a few more yards, goes for a shot at the post, puts the ball over the bar. It's a point that Galway needed. It's finally come their first score in the second half. Alwyn Rabbit, what a good start to the second half. She's had 4 points to Galway, 2-3 to Cork.
Yeah, Alwyn Rabbit has really started to come into the game now from corner forward. I suppose a little bit more freedom maybe to move around in there and try and get on the ball, and the Cork pockets maybe just not getting the same distance as Galway have been in the first half, and Cork find themselves under a little bit of pressure maybe to defend their own puck outs. But look, a great run there from Alwyn Rabbit, and that's exactly what Galway need now, just to tap over a couple of points, keep the scoreboard ticking over, get back within striking distance of Cork and ask some questions of Cork.
We're just watching the linesman the far side of the field talking to the referee Liz Dempsey. Now I'm not too sure if there's something wrong with Liz Dempsey's earpiece or equipment. Didn't appear to be any off the ball issues anyway, because everyone's back in position. We're going to restart the action. Jill Connaughton, the Cork goalkeeper, gets a good drive out towards the middle of the field as Galway are trying to read these breaks. They have to get themselves back in the game, and Cork know a couple of scores and it might be enough. Once they don't concede a goal, can Galway get the points to come back? Well, they're the questions. They'll all be answered over the next 25 minutes of this Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie Final, brought to you here in the Camogie Association YouTube channel in association with Entry, as Aoife Healy gets her first touch of the second half. Down for Orla Mullins. She's had more than one touch already. Sends the ball, well, she tried to go for a score. I think good defending from Galway. Looked for Anna Fahy the second time, but Galway getting the bodies in the way again. Doing what must be done. Ava Crow brings it out the field for the Tribes girls, and she'll send it down the left flank as well, but Galway sending the ball down the field, not finding their own players. It was red jerseys there. They haven't taken the ball cleanly, but they've done enough to stop the ball, and the battle is on the Galway 65-metre line. They've managed to get that ball back, and crossfield ball in the direction of Niamh McInerney, but she's been marked very, very tightly by Emer Dignan. Gets a bit of space out there, and Niamh McInerney has done well and is on the move for Galway. They're now skipping towards the 45-metre line, but again you can see the work rate from Cork. Millie Condon in there, not leaving any space, and Cork have managed to overturn the ball and send it down the left flank in towards the middle of the field. Gets away from Orla Callan on that occasion. Rachel Kelly marking tightly for Galway, and Galway will try and move it out through their fullback Ali Heston. She gives it to Ciara Hickey, and Ciara Hickey moves down the right. Galway looking for a few other scores to settle down after conceding the second goal, but just making mistakes. Aoife Barry has the ball. Can she turn inside? Maybe she will. Gets a bit of space. Not if Aoife Healy has anything to say about it, and Aoife Healy again wins the ball. She was only taking a couple of minutes to settle into the second half. Wins the ball, gives it to Ciara Morrison, the goal scorer, and Ciara Morrison in towards the attack for Cork. Cork on the move again, and there's space open up here in FBD Semple Stadium. This is Anna Fahy. Anna Fahy sends it inside. She goes for a shot that's gone over the bar. Well, that's a beautiful point from Anna Fahy, because I thought she was sending the ball inside, but she floated it perfectly, puts it over, 6 between them again, 2-4 to 4 points.
Yeah, and just to come back to where that play started was right down here in the Cork full back line, and it was a super little flick from Aoife Healy. Just got the touch in on a ball that Aoibhinn Barry was just about to take into her hand. Took a lovely step out, played a lovely ball out then to Ciara Morrison inside, and it was a super score from Cork, and I suppose that's what they're so good at the moment.
Cork in Simpson now to see Del Sheehan pushed forward. She often plays in midfield, and back is Aisling Dillon to help out the defence, trying to stop this Cork wave of attacks, but doesn't get it too far, only as far as Ciara Morrison. And Ciara Morrison on the left, will she go for the point that will put Cork in really control of this game? And Ciara Morrison, 1-1 in the second half, puts the ball over the bar. 8 minutes in, there's 7 between the teams, 2-5 to 4 points.
Yeah, and you just feel that Cork front six are just raring to get on a bit of ball and to get into space, and Ciara Morrison took out that score really well down the wing and just floated it over off her left. They just seem to be able to create those chances a little bit easier than Galway at the moment.
They're breaking down the open balls as well, as they've just done right in front of us between the two 65-metre lines. A much more open second half, has to be said, in the early stages. Galway know they have to attack this game, and Cork are exactly in the position that they like to be. We talked at the start of the game about the Cork defence. This is their 5th game of the championship this year. They've conceded a total of 34 points. If they concede one more point in this match, their average concession rate will only be 7 points per game. That's how tight they've been, and that's the challenge in front of Galway if they're going to turn this game around. But they have to get the ball. Avril Cashman had it there for Cork, gets it in the middle of the field again in the scramble for possession as Galway desperately try and win something. They have possession again as Megan Gallen sends it down in the direction of Dee McInerney, and Dee McInerney will go in another one here for Galway. Goes for a shot at the post. They need this. Is going to drop in front of the goalkeeper, Jill Connaughton. She needs to get it away. Galway are there. They got the first goal. It's a goal. It's a goal for Galway. And that Cork defence has finally been broken. Might be an element of luck, and I think it was Catherine Hanley that got it in, but if she touched the ball, nobody could stop it going in. Galway have their goal, game on again.
Absolutely, and look, you could see that ball as it was dropping in. The sun now was at a horrible spot in the sky there for the goalkeeper down at that end. Just maybe took her eye off it a little bit and left the door open for Galway, and on this occasion they made no mistake. And look, you can sense it from the subs underneath us, you can sense it from the crowd that Galway feel now they're back in this game.
It's Cork 2-5, it's Galway 1-4, a goal that Galway needed. Now what can Cork do to respond? They want to keep control of this Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. On the move is Millie Condon. Millie Condon sends it down the direction of Fiona Tuig. Fiona Tuig turns inside, has support, she might go herself. She will go herself, takes a shot at the post, an important point for Cork. If that goes over the bar, it does go over the bar. 10 minutes into the second half, excellent point from Fiona Tuig, 2-6 to 1-4.
Yeah, and just a response that Jerry Wallace will want from his Cork team. You know, got the ball straight back up to that danger line. As we said, look, Fiona Tuig is inside on the edge of the square. She's on form in there. She's got 3 points. So look, from a Cork point of view, it's just trying to get the ball into her as quick as you can and have your runners coming off her then.
Galway are going to make a substitution in a moment. It looks like Tara Maher, the player that will be entering the field to play, will keep an eye on that. But this is Galway on the attack, and this is Alwyn Rabbit trying to create space, taking on the Cork defence. They're actually running at the Cork defence, and we speculated off air in our half-time conversations up here in the commentary box. The crossfield ball for Niamh McInerney, but Emer Dignan there for Cork, and the Galway supporters are shouting for something. The referee happy to continue the play. Emer Dignan sends it out. Now the referee is going to go back for this. She seemed happy enough to let it go the first time. Elaine, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think she seemed happy enough with the challenge, happy enough with the tackle, and maybe just when Niamh McInerney didn't get back to her feet, just needed to check on the well-being of the Galway player. But Niamh McInerney is certainly a player who's really stormed into the second half here for Galway. Look, she's popped up on the left and the right wing, and as we said, you know, she's starting to run at the Cork defence, and I think that's what Galway need to do more of, is try and run at that Cork defence. Cork have the numbers back, they have a spare player back, so you know, Aoife Healy, as we said, is so good at mopping up that loose ball that, you know, any passes that go in there need to be direct to the Galway player, and if they're not going to strike them in, then they need to travel with them in, and they need to cover ground and run at the Cork defence.
So Galway have made a substitution. Hayley Kenny coming off the field of play, replaced by Tara Maher. The first substitution of the game. Niamh McInerney receiving attention from Galway, a County Under 14 A1 title she won in 2018, representing her club Shamrocks against Cropwell, and has really played a part in this, and of course involved in the goal as well, and a player that Galway would not want to lose, as a few other players there trying to shake off cramp or a few little niggles at the moment. And while we don't have water breaks at the moment, I'm surprised nobody is taking advantage of an impromptu water break that would happen in other fields around the county, I'd imagine, Elaine.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a couple of unofficial ones in the last couple of weekends. I think players used to maybe getting that sub of water around the 15-minute mark into the second half or into the first half, but no one taking the opportunity here this evening, and it's a warm evening, so they could probably do with it. But as I said, Galway just a little bit slow maybe to get back to their feet there, and Eve McInerney just jogging back over here to our right half forward position, but play to continue then out around the middle of the field, and it looks like from a clash ball.
It's going to be a throw-in ball there. Eve McInerney is okay, and we restart the action as well. Cork will feel disappointed. They thought they had possession of the ball, but either way we could get back on with it. Inside the Cork 65-metre line, Galway with the ball. No, they need scores quickly. They trail this game by 5 points, 2-6 to 1-4. Crossfield ball in the direction of Alwyn Rabbit, who's enjoying being on the wing much more than she joined in the centre in the first half. Turns on her left hand side, sends a teasing dangerous ball inside, looking for Catherine Hanley. Catherine Hanley has possession, gives it back to Alana Fahy. Lana Fahy just held the sliotar out for the defender. That second too long, and Cork's defence deal with it and get it out towards the 65-metre line, where Orla Callahan comes to get involved in the action. Sells the dummy to Rachel Kelly and goes in the move down the left wing here in Thurles, and it's opening up again for Cork as she sends a pass down. Galway's defenders just cut out a little bit there as Orla Mullins tries to take possession. Just didn't get the ball in time as Ava Crowe comes in to put in the defending, and Cork player goes to ground. Looks like it might have been a trip there. Either way, it's going to be a free in for Cork, and all of a sudden they have a chance to stretch their lead again.
Absolutely, and again came from some super defending at the back there. Look, Galway looked to be on the attack, an attack that was broken up. I think it was Aoife Barrett eventually caught the ball that popped up the back of the ruck and worked it out nicely to Orla Callahan here in front of us. Lovely little sidestep, and as you say, Thurles then just opened up in front of her and had the luxury then of maybe taking the ball twice into her hand, having a look up and seeing the run of Orla Mullins inside.
So Orla Callahan looking to put 6 points between the teams. Nearly 14 minutes gone in the second half. Cork in the lead, in control, takes the free, puts the ball over the bar, and it's now Cork 2-7, Galway 1-4.
Yeah, and look, I suppose they've eked into that Galway goal now and got a couple of points back on the scoreboard to take the real sting out of that Galway goal. From a Galway point of view, you would have liked to see them kicking on from the goal, but actually it's Cork that have probably kicked on another little bit again.
Cork did lead by 7 points already. They lead by 6 at the moment, and this is Ciara Morrison with that ball float back in for her. It's going to drop in towards the house. The Galway defence need to be careful because Cork have possession. Anna Fahy just couldn't keep herself to her feet as Galway moved the ball out, but not too far. It's back for Cork. It's an opportunity for a score. It's another score for Cork, and they're making it look simple. The ball has gone over the bar. We have double scores here in Semple Stadium. I think it's Orla Callahan who got the point, 2-8 to 1-4.
Yeah, Orla Callahan, and as you said, just made it look so easy on that occasion. A ball that Galway defence had done really, really well with, but just a little snig from Orla Mullins as the ball was coming out, knocked it down and it was Orla Callahan that was there to gain possession, and she's at centre forward now, so obviously going to try and push on from there and get another couple of scores.
Galway have made their second change. Lana Fahy coming off the field of play and replaced by Molly Mulrine, and she's involved in the action now for Galway as we come up towards the 3/4 mark, so 15 minutes plus injury time remaining for Cork to be crowned All-Ireland Minor Camogie champions, and for Galway to turn this game around, but they have to get the ball the other end of the field. If you're a Galway supporter, they have possession through Ava Crowe. Ava Crowe up towards the 45-metre line, but Fiona Toohey gets in there again and gets her body in the way to hold the ball up, looks for a teammate to support. Ciara Morrison is there, as is Orla Mullins, and which of them will take the ball out? Galway also have players involved, and one of them is Rachel Kelly, and Rachel Kelly does enough to win the free for the team in wide. It's going to be a Galway free out, and of course it's a defensive free, took it straight from the hands and down the field. Not often we see players doing that, even though it is a rule that's in Camogie now for a year. And now what can Galway do with this? Molly Mulrine, the number 17 on the field of play, just held it out for Aoife Healy, lost her hurl for a moment, picks it back up. Molly Mulrine goes into the Cork player Avril Cashman. No arguments about that particular charge. It's a free out for Cork.
Absolutely. Look, I suppose that's just the difference at the moment is, you know, we're talking so much about the Cork defence and how well they're defending, but the Cork front six, as well as getting those scores, they're well able to defend, and on that occasion, right, gave away the free to Rachel Kelly, but you know, time and time again they've just dispossessed the Galway players coming out. They've made life difficult for them, and I suppose just put the pressure on the delivery that Galway have been able to get into that forward line, whereas on the other hand, you know, Cork have been coming out nearly at their ease on occasion and able to pick their passes that little bit sharper up front.
Aoife Healy send the ball down in the direction of Leah Hallahan. Doesn't happen as Galway are being more assertive with these 50-50 challenges. It's down the other end, they're just not making it count at the moment, and Cork are in control. 13 and a half minutes to go, and Aoife Healy wins the ball again for Cork, sends it up in the direction of Leah Hallahan, who's come out into the middle to help out the action. They're spraying the ball around, and the supporters of both Cork and Galway jeering every ball going, depending on which team has possession. They are completely invested in this All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final as as Galway try and create another attack inside the 65-metre line. Niamh McInerney on the move again on the 45-metre line, sends it down in towards her house, looking for the Aoibhinn Barry inside, and Aoibhinn Barry tries to turn, has a player to her left, gives the pass off. Catherine Hanley with a shot, and Jill Connaughton with the save, and sprays down Alwyn Rabbit. Is there a second player, Aoibhinn Barry, and again, was it Jill Connaughton or was it another player back defending? Either way, Cork have managed to keep that ball out again for the second time. If anything, the two most certain chances would have begging, and the simplest one went into the back of the net. But that's the Cork defence, as you said many times, Elaine.
Absolutely, and I think it was Jill Connaughton's leg again on the second occasion there that spun that one up, but two real golden opportunities there for Galway and just couldn't make them count. But as I said, it's that Cork defence again. The shots that do come in, they're still under pressure, and it's superb defending from Cork, and I suppose just a little bit misfortunate maybe from Galway on occasion that they haven't been able to finish at least one of those opportunities.
Cork have showed their bravery to stop two near certain goal opportunities. It remains a 7-point ball game. Cork 2-8, Galway 1-4. Another Galway substitute getting ready to enter the field off camera. Catherine Hanley's ball is battered out as Galway try and find a way through Aoibhinn Barry. She needs a bit of support, turns to her left, turns to her right, needs to watch the steps. The ball did bounce on the ground. She has a bit of time to play with, but still not getting it away to send the high Gary Owen style ball down for Alwyn Rabbit. Alwyn Rabbit trying to find a way, and Cork's defending is absolutely brilliant here. 6 players in the way of the ball, and they win it through Aoife Barrett. And Aoife Barrett comes out the field of play. Well, that is, if you're looking for a coaching manual about defending, you just saw it there from the Cork defence. But Galway are going to come straight back again on the move. The pass out from Keisha Coleman gives the pass out in the direction of Megan Gannon, I should say, is it? Gets inside, goes for a shot, goal! A goal for Galway! And it's Megan Gannon puts the ball to the back of the net. We were wondering what she would do, but she picked her spot in the corner. Goal for Galway. Is a 4-point ball game, 2-8 to 2-4.
Yeah, certainly. Look, and I suppose if the two last chances were half goal chances or looked like good goal chances, she created that all of her own, and what a finish into the top corner, and that certainly gives a lifeline to Galway now.
Well, 2 times we reckon Cork have done enough in this All-Ireland final, and 2 times Galway have come back with a response, and it's 2-8 to 2-4. The goals are certainly coming here in FBD Semple Stadium today after we wondered would they arrive at all. Galway making a substitution. Orla Mullins coming on the field of play for Aisling Dillon. Aaron Fox is using his squad trying to get into this game, and they're creeping back into it, but not there yet.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you have a panel for. On certain days things will go for certain players, and I suppose the momentum now is starting to swing. It's there if Galway need to win it, and if a couple of fresh legs can bring a little bit of something different, now is the time to introduce them.
Cork haven't introduced any players yet so far. Edel Sheehan took the line ball, but Galway have possession, and their tails are certainly up now after the goal from Megan Gannon. Brings it back to a 4-point ball game, 2-8 to 2-4, and play inside the Cork 65-metre line. The 3 Galway players with the yellow helmets, all fighting for the ball. The third of them, of course, Orla Mullins, has just come on the field of play, and Megan Gannon and Niamh McInerney, mentioned many times in the commentary already, as a Cork player goes to the ground. Looks like it's Aoife Healy. Referee Liz Dempsey blows the whistle for a moment to check on the Cork centre back.
Yeah, and look, it was just, I suppose, the sign of her leadership again when Cork needed it most there. She was the one that got down to that ball coming out, and just head down, I think, just took a little bit of a challenge coming out. So Liz Dempsey blown up the play just to check on her well-being. But Millie Condon, also from Cork, wearing number 11 on her back, started in the middle of the field, but she's doing an ocean of work across her own half-back line there at the moment, and time again she's the player that's holding up the Galway attack. So, huge questions asked now. Cork have had some tough battles the last couple of weekends, so, it's nothing new to them, I suppose, but Galway now certainly with the bit between their teeth and sense that there may be more goals up front and that they're still in this All-Ireland.
You can see in your screen there, there's 2 players on the ground at the moment. Of course, Aoife Healy, the Cork centre back, but also Alwyn Rabbit on the ground too. Alwyn Rabbit, what a second half she's had so far. The daughter of the great Joe Rabbit, who played for Galway, and the sister of Sabina, who's made her way into the Galway senior team. And if you were following our coverage last week, you would have seen Sabina Rabbit representing the Galway seniors. The supporters of both Cork and Galway making their voices heard. This is the occasion that the All-Ireland final should be about. Of course, over the last 2 years, we haven't had a chance to enjoy this atmosphere as much as we would like, but hopefully this is the first of many games. Well, not the first, of course. We had 2 minor finals last week, but the first minor finals weekend of many more to come, where supporters are invested in the action. And we look at the players. Aoife Healy is back on her feet, but Alwyn Rabbit doesn't look 100% comfortable yet, and she's trying to walk off. I think a boot is off as well at the moment, and now she's putting the boot back on, so thankfully both players look like they'll be able to finish this match out.
Yeah, look, and they've been 2 of the standout players for their representative teams here today, and I suppose as I said, Alwyn Rabbit has really come into her own in that second half since she went into corner forward and has been not just, creating scores but also getting on the scoreboard herself. And look, Aoife Healy, no one wants to see a player of that calibre miss out the closing stages of an All-Ireland final.
Ciara Hickey moves the ball down towards the 45-metre line. A Cork stick gets in the way, stops the Slayers' progress. And now who's going to win the battle? Niamh McInerney in there for Galway as well. But it's Ciara Hickey the second time, the captain, leading by example. Down towards the corner, down towards Catherine Hanley, sells the dummy. Chance here for Galway. Aoife Barry's inside. She might go herself. Great defending there. I think it was Aoife Barrett who got the touch in it. Either way, it's gone out for the 45. Probably should have taken the option. Indeed, actually was Maeve de Burka that made the stop for Cork. But Galway probably should have thought of using the extra player to have a 45 another chance.
Yeah, look, I think they probably again caught between maybe the goal opportunity and the point opportunity, but had the player over, and I suppose a little bit misfortunate for Aoife Barrett. She attacked that ball from full back, just misread it a little bit and left the door open for Catherine Hanley inside her.
So now an opportunity for Catherine Hanley here to get a score, bring this back to a 3-point ball game. There are still over 7 minutes of normal time plus injury time to go. This a dangerous ball in Cork. We're taking no chances. 2 on the line and just bat it out anywhere, and it goes out towards the corner, and Alwyn Rabbit will be ready to go again. A crossfield ball, but will she find a player in white? There's a lot of red jerseys there, but Catherine Hanley managed to get a touch. Maeve de Burka for Cork to Aoife Healy, and Aoife Healy on the 20-metre line, moving up the field as well, takes on the challenge, finds a teammate out to the right, and Cork have the ball out towards the 45-metre line, and it's sent down the field by Edel Sheehan in towards the attack. But Galway now have their bodies there as well. There's still the extra bodies in the respective defences. The attackers are working very, very hard, but Galway are on the move to Megan Gannon. Megan Gannon has Niamh McInerney in front of her. She stopped in the 45-metre line, sends it down in the direction of Alwyn Rabbit. Alwyn Rabbit has 2 Cork defenders for company, goes to ground. The referee spotted a push. A free in for Galway, a score you'd feel they need to take and bring this back to a 3-point ball game.
Yeah, and look, it was a great run from Megan Gannon right from the middle of the field, and I suppose had visions of the pitch opening up in front of her again and getting a goal shot in, but Cork quick to shut her down, but the opportunity then spilled over, and I think it was Millie Condon who gave away the free, and a chance, as you said, for Galway now just to put themselves within a 1-score game.
Catherine Hanley takes the free, puts the ball over the bar. 6 minutes to go in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. It's a 3-point ball game. It's Galway 2-5, Cork 2-8.
Yeah, look, and this puck out now is going to be huge. You feel the next score is massive. The crowd are getting behind. There's a few coming in for the football, so things are really starting to heat up here.
There might be supporters coming in for the football, but it's the Camogie supporters that are loudest at the moment as Galway are on the move again. Catherine Hanley just never got control of the ball, maybe because Aoife Healy wouldn't let her have control of the ball. Aoife Barry is there as well. The ball manages to work its way down towards Alwyn Rabbit. Not to be, but Galway have more support. This is Niamh McInerney with a shot, and it goes over the bar. I wasn't too sure where that ball was going at the time, but it goes over the bar. Niamh McInerney brings it back to a 2-point ball game, 2-6 to 2-8.
Yeah, over the bar, and just about over the bar. Certainly a couple of inches in it, and I think it could have been dipping under the crossbar there, so a lot of pressure on Cork now to try and win their own puck out. We know what they're capable of doing if they can get that ball up to the full forward line, but they just haven't been able to do that in the last few minutes, and it's been all Galway.
I hope at home, if you're enjoying our stream in Cork, you can hear the supporters, because they are the far side of the field from us, but they really, really are invested in this game, and we hope you are as well. Less than 5 minutes to go here in FBD Semple Stadium. Cork in the lead. They lead by 2 points. They haven't used substitutes yet, but I can see 2 Cork substitutes getting ready to enter the field of play, but it's a Galway ball, and Ciara Hickey takes the free exactly halfway out the field. They are working their way back into the game. This is an All-Ireland final. We won't go to extra time. We will go to a replay if they finish level, and you can't rule that out. Where a while ago we thought Cork were safely going to get over the line, but not to be. Emer Dignan tries to clear it, but it's back for Ciara Hickey. Ciara Hickey down and towards the corner, looking for Aoife Barry. Aoife Barry sells the dummy to Maeve de Burka. Can she make a count? On her left hand side, goes for a shot at the post, and Aoife Barry puts the ball over the bar. 4 minutes to go. It's a 1-point ball game here, 2-7 to 2-8.
Yeah, and it's as if the tables have turned completely. We were speaking about the composure of the Cork backs, I suppose, and how good their distribution was and how good they were at finding their players coming out of defence. On that occasion, it was Ciara Hickey read the clearance really, really well and set up Aoife Barry for that attack, and a super score it was from her. So certainly the momentum with Galway at the moment now. Cork need to find a response.
Cork have made a double substitution. I'll tell you about that. Ciara Walsh is one of the players on, and Ellen Crowley is the other. They are replacing Leah Hallahan and Anna Fahy. So they're the two changes for Cork as we watch the action. And Cork are on the move to Millie Condon. Millie Condon is a player in front, looking for these are Orla Mullins in possession. No, it was actually Ellen Crowley, one of the substitutes, but she leaves it for another player, and Cork are just lining up here. This is an opportunity for Ciara Morrison, and Ciara Morrison puts the ball over the bar. It's their first score in 12 minutes. An important score was for Cork, just to give them a bit of breathing space. 2-9 to 2-7.
Yeah, I said Cork needed to find a response, and they did through Ciara Morrison, and what a second half she's had. That's her second point, so a goal and 2 points to her name, and really important for Cork now that they try and get the next score.
3 minutes to go of normal time as Galway try and control the ball. The Slayer stays inside to Niamh McInerney. Has support but goes herself, and she's on the run, and space opens up in Thurles for Niamh McInerney. Will she go herself? It's going to drop in towards their house. Jill Connaughton needs to be careful, and she was careful. The ball bounced, she gets it into their hand, and the Cork goalkeeper from Middleton sends it out the far side of the field. Middleton, a great history in Cork. John Fenton, a great player back in the day, played many a great match in this pitch. I stand to be corrected, but I think he scored the best hurling goal I ever saw against Limerick in this field back in 1987. Cork have the ball in their hands between the 45 and the 65 metre line, and they're on the move again. This is their moment now to try and put this game to bed. They thought they'd done it already as Fiona Tuig sent it inside, looking for Orla Mullins. There's an Orla Mullins for Galway and Orla Mullins for Cork. We're looking at the Orla Mullins for Galway, for Cork I should say, and she doesn't manage to pull the trigger. Galway defence doing well. Ali Hesden wins the ball for Galway. It's going to be a free out.
Yeah, and I think Cork know that they need to start winning some ball around the middle of the field, and Fiona Tuig out here now in the half forward line to try and do that. And Orla Mullins still is that target woman up front, and did really, really well on that occasion. But the Galway defence just starting to grow into this game a little bit and starting to shut out some of the Cork opportunities that they were getting earlier in this first half.
I'm keeping an eye on the fourth official off camera as we watch this Galway free. He has the board in his hand and should be signalling how much added time we're going to have in a moment. We still have 90 seconds of the normal time to play. Cork lead by 2 points. It's Cork 2-9. It's Galway 2-7 as Ellen Crowley tries to launch another attack, and Ali Hesden wins the ball for Galway outside the 20-metre line, but just can't get it too far away as Cork sense they have to do something here to get this victory. They have a chance. This is Orla Callahan. Orla Callahan with the shot, and Orla Callahan puts the ball over the bar. Cork are finding the scores when they need to be. There's going to be at least 3 minutes of added time. 3 points between the teams. 2-10 to 2-7.
Yeah, and we spoke beforehand about the leaders Cork have on this minor team, and Orla Callahan's name was mentioned, Aoife Healy's name was mentioned, and they've both been central. Orla Callahan popping up there with such an important score for Cork, and just the composure to be able to finish a simple free when Cork needed it most.
Aoife Healy, another of those great leaders, sends the ball across the field as Cork hold on to possession. Orla Callahan trying to find a way inside. You would feel another score for Cork here now, and they're looking good. They're looking good with Emer Duignan. Emer Duignan is Ciara Morrison in front. She might go herself. Emer Duignan, and Emer Duignan puts the ball over the bar. Cork go 4 points in front. An unlikely hero, Elaine, but it could be good enough.
Yeah, we talk about the big leaders standing up, and what a score that was in the 60th minute of an All-Ireland final, to tear up the left wing like that. Your team under pressure, she's defended gallantly all day today, but got up to get her name on the score sheet and just make the lead a little bit more comfortable for Cork.
Cork 2-11, Galway 2-7. The ball goes out over the field, the far side of the field. We have played the 30 minutes. 3 minutes remaining in this game. Galway must get 2 scores, but it's Cork who didn't score for 12 minutes and didn't send over 3 points in as many minutes to give themselves a 4-point advantage again. There's a Cork player on the ground, the far side of the field. It's adding to the suspense, adding to the drama, because we're going to take a deep breath before this final play.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Cork player, you're urging your teammate to just get up and get on with it and try and run out this 3 minutes as quick as we can. They have the comfort, I suppose, of that 4th point there, so there's 2 scores in it, but the way Galway have been raining down on that Cork goal and the couple of goal opportunities they have created, it's certainly a possibility that they could get one. So from a Cork point of view, you want to get the ball up, you want to get the players up and the ball in again and try and finish out this game.
Ciara Hickey from Galway gets a yellow card there. Just gives us a quick moment to let you know that tomorrow the minor B Shield Camogie final 2 o'clock live here in the Camogie Association YouTube channel with entry. That's Roscommon against Westmeath, but we'll focus on this for the next 2 minutes. We'll give you the player of the match in just a moment, but Galway have the ball and now they need to move up the field. They have to get 2 scores quickly, a white or a green, just to get them off the mark as the challenge. And Cork now are getting their players in position. A good touch from Fiona Tuig. Fiona Tuig leaves leaves it there for, well, she was leaving it for someone else, but it's Megan Gannon with the ball. The ball didn't go out over the line. She did. She won a free nonetheless. Fiona Tui trying to push her back a couple of yards, inches or so, fighting now, Elaine, but Galway have a free.
Yeah, and Jerry Wallace there on the sideline anxiously encouraging Fiona to stand up and to stop the Galway attack, and I suppose that's what you want, is you just want to stop them attacking that momentum, give Cork a chance to get the defenders back and to reset before they have to deal with the free.
Megan Gannon sends the floating ball down in the 45-metre line. Ciara Hickey with a little touch, but Cork and Aoife Healy again coming out to meet the ball. She doesn't get it, but Ciara Walsh is there. Ciara Walsh, number 12, gives it to the number 6, and it's back with Aoife. The high challenge, it's going to be a free out for Cork on the 45-metre line. 1 minute of the added time remaining. I can see Ava Carr is due to come on for Galway in a moment. It looks like, Elaine, that Cork are going to get this one over the line.
Yeah, look, once they defended that one, I suppose, you know, from a Galway point of view, you would have looked maybe to get a score from that one and then attack the puck out and try and tack on, be it the goal or the point that you needed. But once Cork broke up that attack, you know, they'll aim to get the ball up to the far end of the field as quick as they can now, and just to try and control things and see out the game from there.
Cork will send it down the far side of the field, and Galway will try and mop it up. Is there time? We will see. There was a stop in the middle of all that, so there might be a bit more time for Galway, but they have to get a ball up and get a score, and Cork are not going to make it easy. And you can just see right there, the referee has given the free against Galway for catching the ball 3 times, I think it was. Either way, it's going to be a free for Cork, and this, surely, if Orla Callan has a goal for this, is going to be the winning score of this All-Ireland final. I know I've said that a couple of times, but with the clock against Galway, the clock favouring Cork, you would feel Orla Callahan can wrap this up now.
Yeah, look, from a Cork point of view, if she can score it, brilliant, but look, you're probably looking to just try and get the ball dead, reset and defend the puck out from there. Then the last thing they want is, you know, this ball to stay in play and maybe for Galway to counter attack quickly.
Orla Callan's going to get the distance, but she put the ball, she was listening to Elaine Aylward, she puts the ball to the left and wide, puts the ball dead. 3.5 minutes, it's all over, and Cork are the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie champions for 2022. They've won this game by 4 points, and Elaine, you get your overall assessment, but the better team won this match.
Yeah, look, I think for the vast majority of that game, look, Galway had a really good opening 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe that goal in the first half just looked to rock them a little bit, and they just looked a little bit less composed, seemed to lose their way a little bit, and when they did, Cork made hay up front, and you know, it was ultimately the 2 goals. You know, Galway clawed their way back into it, but every time they got a score, every time they got a goal, Cork were able to reply in kind at the far end and scored a couple of lovely points just to keep that scoreboard ticking over. The 2-goal cushion, I suppose, just gave them that little bit of comfort, and they never really had to force anything. When the questions were asked of them, they were able to reply, and look, they've done that throughout this campaign. They did it all the way to extra time with Waterford 2 weeks ago. They did it all for the full 60 plus minutes last weekend against Tip. They've been able to dig out results, and I suppose when Galway did get their purple patch in that second half, they did ask questions, they rocked them with gold, and Cork had all the answers.
They had all the answers, and those 3 lay points were important. Before we just look at the Galway side of things, a lot of quality players on both teams here as well. Your top players in this game and your overall player of the match.
Yeah, look, first off, it was an outstanding game of skill, physicality. It was a fantastic game of hurling out there tonight, and both panels of players, both management deserve huge credit for bringing that standard of a game to a minor All-Ireland. That's where you want to play your best hurling, and they certainly both served that up there today. Look, from a Galway point of view, they had stars all over the place. I thought Niamh McInerney had a massive second half there. Alwyn Rabbit, when she went into corner forward, you know, probably found going a bit tough in the first half on Aoife Healy out there, but certainly came into her own then up front. And then from a Cork point of view, look, Orla Callahan popped up all over the place when you needed important scores. She was the ones got on the end of it. I thought Millie Condon got through an ocean of work from midfield in her own half back line, and Ciara Morrison had a super second half up front. Orla Mullins and Fiona Tuig outstanding. But look, ultimately I think this victory was probably built on a really solid defence and a really solid defensive performance, and look, they had heroes all over at the back. Aoife Barrett was really, really good at full back, but for me, Aoife Healy just stood out time and time again. She was at the heart of that Cork defence, always looking to go forward, always using the ball going forward, hitting the space, got back, got the couple of lovely touches just to dispossess Galway players at the all-important time. And look, I think everything good that happened with Cork today came through Aoife Healy. So for me, Aoife Healy was the player of the match for the 2022 Minor All-Ireland final.
Congratulations to Aoife Healy as well. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to have the presentation and reaction coming up, but Cork are not wasting any time, so we're not going to keep them waiting any longer. I'd like to thank Elaine Aylward for joining me in the commentary box. We will chat again afterwards, but hope you enjoyed this game. We're ready for the presentation. Congratulations, Cork, and the final score here in the Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie final. Cork 2-11, Galway 2-7.
everybody. I'd just like to say a particular thanks to Tesco and sponsors of the minor championship and to our coach who has presented the third match number 60 for Healy of Cork. So well done, congratulations. I'd also like to say thank you to Liz Chelsea and all of her match officials. She did a wonderful job. In particular, I'd also like to thank Tipperary GAA and Semple Stadium. Time and again, Semple Stadium and Tipperary support women's sport. They come forward all the time to offer their venue, and what a venue for our minors to play in. There's no better place than in Semple Stadium to play in All Ireland Minor A final. So thank you to Tipperary, and thank you to all the staff in Semple Stadium. It was an outstanding game, an absolutely outstanding game. We had an outstanding minor championship. And I want to remind everybody here of one thing. These are barely 18-year-olds. There's still the determination and the physicality out there in our senior championship match. So well done, girls. Both teams were absolutely brilliant, so you were. One of our best competitions, if not our best competitions, because the stars we see here today are the stars that we would have saw last night when we presented with all stars and soaring stars. So girls like Thurles and both Galway and Cork will be seeing you very shortly lifting your all stars as well. So well done to both of them. A big thank you to all the parents who travelled with family and friends in big numbers. But there's only one thing to do, and that is to present all the women from Cork with a minor A, All Ireland Global Championship.
And that was the Cork Camogie captain Orla Mullins there after Cork winning this title for the third time in 4 years, beating Galway by 2-11 to 2-7. It's Darren Kelly here with Elaine Aylward back here in the commentary box. And Elaine, we'll go back to Cork in a moment, but we didn't get a chance They talk about Galway at the end. It'll hurt them, but at least they came out in the second half. They learned from the mistakes I suppose they were making, especially in the second quarter, and they made a game of this because, again, this game looked like it was won 3 times before Cork finally got the job done.
Yeah, huge credit due to Galway. You know, they bounced back time and time again, you know, and we'd said it looked like Cork were home and hosed, and suddenly Galway created goal chances up front, and they took them this time, which was the real difference, I suppose. And, you know, they'll probably be a little bit disappointed that they left themselves that much work to do, you know, having conceded the 2 early goals to Kilkenny last week. They managed to bounce back last week. They just couldn't find it today against Cork, and you know, probably a little bit disappointed maybe that they let Cork get those 2 early goals and were really chasing the game from there. But as you said, when they did bounce back after half time, we knew coming out by the second half that they looked like they meant business. And look, again, Cork rattled them for an early goal, but they bounced back time and time again. And look, huge character shown by them, obviously without a massive player up front in Shannon Corcoran today, so she'll obviously have been a huge loss to them, but a huge performance. I suppose just a little bit disappointing maybe that they, you know, dominated that first 15-20 minutes and just couldn't get themselves ahead on the scoreboard.
We gave Eva Healy player of the match, and she was 100% I think the best player in the field of play, but other players really stepped up at times too. Like we talked about how Orla Mullins learned exactly what to do and played a leader's role in attack. Instead of needless shots, she started spraying the ball around, getting better players. And we have to give Jill Connaughton a mention. Like some of those saves there, if they were on the Lions League Sunday for example, would be highlighted real job. Absolutely.
Look, and they came at such crucial times. You know, the wind was in the Galway sails, their tails were up, they were hungry for goals, they were going for them, and time again both goalkeepers today, in fairness to them, stood up to, you know, a couple of misfortunate ones maybe went in that they would be disappointed with, but they certainly have nothing to be ashamed of with the saves that they made. They more than justified their positions out there.
When Ciara Morrison got that second goal in the 3rd minute of the second half, 2, 3 to 4 points, I thought game done. We all thought, especially when they added a few points afterwards to go 7 clear, there might have been, I won't call it fortune, it'd be unfair in Catherine Hanley, but the Galway goal missed a few defenders as well. But Cork hit back with 3 points on that occasion through Fiona Tuig, Orla Callahan twice, and then at the end, after going 12 minutes without a score, they stepped up again with 3 beautiful points, including the last one from Emer Duggan.
Yeah, and that's what they did when they did go after the goal that Galway had got. You know, in the blink of an eye, they had 3 really good points swung over, and they just cancelled out that Galway goal, I suppose. And that's probably what was most disheartening for Galway. They were getting the goal, they were getting closer to Cork's lead, and then suddenly Cork knocked off 3 quick points each time and just pushed themselves and gave themselves that little bit of comfort again.
It's hard to believe that before 2018 Cork went 15 years without winning this competition, but now 3 times in 4 years. It just goes to show Cork are not going away anywhere anytime soon.
Absolutely not. Look, and there's huge work gone into the underage. They obviously have, you know, it's a huge county. They have a huge panel to pick from, a huge selection of girls, and look, that can bring its own problems, I suppose, in a county that big to see all the underage players. But the work that has gone into underage development squads and then working their way up through the schools, through the colleges system, and I suppose they get highlighted, get seen, and then, you know, they build things like this. And I suppose Cork Camogie is in a really good place at the moment, you know, senior team going well back into a league final, so there's real aspirations for these minor girls to push on now, make the step up to the Cork adult team, be it the Division 2 or the Division 1 team, but certainly huge aspirations for them to make that step up.
There's a few brave managers went in for that jump in the ground there a moment or so ago. I certainly know I wouldn't do it as well. Elaine, again, just before we wrap up, a fantastic exhibition of Camogie, and not just in regards to goals that were scored or the big points. We talked about it in the first half too. Defenders stepped up, the intensity, the commitment. You know, it just goes to another great final that Camogie has given us here. It's just been a golden run over the last year.
Absolutely. Look, and how fitting that we're in Semple Stadium to witness here this evening. I think both teams brought their A games to Thurles here this evening, and as you said, like, it's easy to pick out the highlights of the goals and the super scores that were scored, but some of the defending was absolutely top class. You know, some of the flicks, some of the blocks and the hooks, they were just outstanding. And look, it wasn't all defenders performing the heroics either. Like, the 6 forwards from Cork and the 6 forwards from Galway worked really hard. They turned over defenders coming out with balls time and time again, and that's ultimately what set up the chances up front, I suppose, for their forwards. But huge amounts of skill all over the field.
Well, Cork will celebrate long into the night too as well, and deserving All-Ireland champions they are. Galway played their part in a great game, but it's Cork who prevail here and our Tesco All-Ireland Minor A Camogie champions. I'd like to thank Elaine Aylward for joining myself, Darren Kelly in the commentary box, and to all the team from Entry for giving you this coverage in the Camogie Association YouTube channel. Don't forget to join us again at 2 o'clock tomorrow in Tupper for the Minor B Shield final between Roscommon and Westmeath. But it's Cork's night in Thurles. The final score, Cork 2-11, Galway 2-7.
responsible.